Welcome to another episode of the Al Guyer's Garage. Today we're working on advanced springs in a distributor. How to change them really quick. They can boost your performance. It's just trial and error, or you could send it to a place and get the distributor running the machine to tell you what your springs are doing. In another video, comment if you want to go into depth with this in other videos. We'll do that. I do try to go through step by step to a point. So without further ado, let's get cracking. Today, what we're going to do is we're going to be putting springs in a distributor. Probably what? Yeah, we're gonna put these two little bitty springs in a distributor. They're called advanced springs. They're supposed to let the centrifugal advance quicker. Because the problem is, we're cruising down the highway, 2200 RPM. I've read mixed things, but basically your advance starts at 2000. That's not much. We're running initial, which is 14 or 15 degrees. And we'd be running on vacuum at that point, which would be 12. Should be 12 advance. So that's what, 27. There's 7 degrees, 8 degrees on that table yet. You could probably get more. Really light throttle, lighten that mixture because it's not much, would probably work excellent. But when you put your foot down on the throttle, you're cruising along, say at 2000 RPM. Your vacuum gauge, this truck runs for between 15 and 18 at light throttle cruise. But when you put your foot in it, due to the fact it's a bigger carburetor, your vacuum drops down into here. Well, once it gets down in here, you have no more vacuum advance. And if this timing is just starting to come in, that means you're only running on initial. That's it. So if you're tipping the throttle a little bit, it's initial. So what we're doing is we're going to change them springs. I'll show you the weights in the distributor when I get it apart. Lift the points, change the springs, and we'll put new points back in it. And I'll show you the way the distributor advances, and then maybe you'll understand a little better. Stay tuned. Welcome to the Al Guyer's Garage. First thing we do is the easy part. Get the coil off so everything gets out of the way. I would say disconnect the battery, but for what? The key's off. So whatever you do, just don't do what I do at home. You'd be better off to not. Oh, I see our friends are here. Rotor off. What this does, this turns inside the distributor. Current goes through here, and then it goes off, out to your post, it ignites. In through here, out through here. It looks a little burnt, but it's not terrible enough that we can't use it. First thing on the agenda is the vacuum advance has to be taken out of the way. And we gotta hope and pray the screws don't break. That's why when we go to put these screws back in, we're going to grease them. That's a must. You gotta grease them. Screws, the clip that holds the vacuum advance on, which is always fun. Nope, not even a little. Thank goodness I had no clue what I'm doing. Okay, the clip's down there, so we gotta make sure we Okay, you can get out anytime you want. Let's go. Well, that's kind of neat. I don't want to ruin the timing if I can help it. It needs to get out of here. There, now that might work. Man. You gotta be kidding me. How did they make this thing? Okay. Is there something I'm missing here? Usually they slide right out. Look, this one won't. What, do we have to get underneath the board or something? This is supposed to slide right out of here. There we go. See? This is your vacuum advance. It pulls in, it adjusts your advance. Some of these are actually adjustable. This one might be, I'm not sure. Battle Scar. Then next, we have to find our wrench. You know, the wrench, I have no clue where it is. And loosen in the points. I don't think this will fit in there. Yep. Don't worry, we get to the good stuff here shortly. The good stuff. You need that. That's the wire that tells your coil to fire. Now we're going to take this screw out. Believe me, you take this apart, you pray, hope and pray that nothing snaps. This is a new distributor, so I know nothing's going to snap. Uh-oh. This wire comes off. Here. Okay, we shouldn't have too many left. One for the points. They're going bye-bye anyway. I think they're fried. That could be my ignition problem, but I'm saving that for last. This is your breaker. See this right here? In there is where your connection is, and that's what tells the coil to fire. I don't know. I'm not an expert on these, but they don't look terrible. But we're going to replace them anyways. That's the wrong thing to do, but we're going to do it anyway. Now we should have a screw for this. Wow, how do you get that out of there? Oh, there we go. Man, this is a weird place for this. I got to try to put that at a different spot because that's just not flying there. This is your condenser. I have no clue what it does, but you're supposed to have one. So we're going to replace this too. Just like a $3 part. Now comes the good stuff. Ooh, greasy stuff. Let me get this figure out where the screws are. Look at that. Almost time you get to see the inside of a distributor. At least a Ford one. Okay. Up we go. This is a point style distributor, so we don't have to take this stuff apart. Wow. I'll bet you can't see in there, can you? Where is it? There's your counterweights. There's your springs. See how they move? That's what advances your timing when you're going down the road. And so I bought these to replace these springs with different ones. And hopefully it works. I may not change both because it's simple enough. I may only change the one. I have to just figure this out first. So we're going to change them. We'll put it back together. I want to show you how to adjust the points in, which is really simple. Look at it. I can't even pull that spring apart. And that's what the distributor has in it. So we're going to switch to this. One thing I'm not sure about, do I want to switch both of these? Or just one? Because the other spring is pretty small. See? That's the fan blade. That would be not good. There, look at that one. That one ain't near as big. So I'm thinking maybe just switching. I don't know. I have to think about this for a minute. Decisions. Do I want to do both? If it doesn't work, I just take it apart and fix it. So you got to understand, Ford, from what I've read and stuff, their mechanical advance, they were always lazy on. Just like when the mid to late 70s started, 4-barrels just went away for a while, stuff like. They weren't worried about performance. They were about getting the engine out and what the EPA was saying. So we're doing exactly what the EPA said we shouldn't do back then. Now they don't say much about distributor advance as far as I know, but so that's what we're doing. We're fixing it. Here we go. We changed them. Is that going to be too much? But you can see how this works. The springs hold it from advancing. This thing right there is your stop, which I've heard of guys advancing, changing them too. What they do is they'll change these hammers. Okay, you get the gist. I'm going to go a little farther away now. They'll change these hammers because the slot here is longer. So, because it hits the stop. So what they'll do is, or sometimes they just take these and they notch it bigger to get more advance. I know we have plenty of advance here, but see, we changed both the springs, and let's hope. But that's what they do. They keep it from advancing. These weights make it advance. They push on it and open it. These springs hold it. So we went from this. Wow. Hold on. Right here. And this one, which was weird. There was no tension on it until you go so far. And then it wouldn't do anything at all. So we changed this too. I know we had a Bertronics in this for one day with the old motor that was blowed up. And I'm going to tell you what. Man, when that advance come in, that thing would light the tires up. Like, I never seen nothing like it. Then the distributor took a crap. So I think advance with this is huge. I think it's going to really make a big difference. We'll be back. We got points to adjust. Check this out. This is what we do when we have a foreign car, which they've been halfway decent. But when the battery goes dead, you can't put it in gear. You can't do anything. So what do we get to do here in the Allgaier's garage? We get to do this. Yeah, see the white one down there? Yep, battery's dead. And this is what we get to do. Welcome to the Allgaier's garage. Check it out. The one I don't need. See how it's straight? The one I need. See how it's around the corner? Yep. Apparently I got the wrong ones. See a little pin? There's a hole. The way this works is when you put the points in there, this is how it lets you adjust them. See? They move back and forth. Like so. And then the screw goes here, screw goes here. When you get to where you want it, you jam them tight and that's it. And then for a feeler gauge, I always use $1. Works for me. And it's right there and it's really available. Okay, if you can see it. Bet you can now. We're going to take this. You'll see this stuff here. I'll do all this when I'm done. Right now we're more worried about getting this. I didn't put the vacuum advance on yet because it's easy to run it over the lobe. See this lobe in this shaft? It'll be easier to run it over that lobe to adjust them. So we'll do it that way. We're gonna snug this up just a little, nothing fancy, just enough to snug. I'll loosen this up. See that right there in the end? That's for a straight blade screwdriver, which I don't have. But I'm gonna go get one. Hopefully you can see okay. Do is you take the screwdriver and you put it in this end right here. See how the points move back and forth? Pretty neat, huh? So now what you do is, right there I'm running it across the lobe. Yeah, that's too much. You need finer. To open the points up a little bit, put that in there. There. You know, why aren't you grabbing? There we go. Turn this thing a little bit. Now we're going to tighten it up. Just like that. Now let's take it off and see what happens. These are snappers. Oh yeah, that's definitely... Yeah, they're definitely... They might actually... I might have to loosen them. You can see I'm running this through here. Let's see if I can zoom in. See right here, we're running this paper through the opening and the points. But that is, there's like no play. That's a little on the sloppy side. So I'm going to try to move that in just a little bit. Well, I guess you would call it move it away. Because I think it's a little bit. Maybe we'll get there. It's just been a while. It's just been a while. There, high side of the lobe. It's got drag on it. We're going to let it there. Hopefully that does the trick. Now let's check one more time. Okay, we still have it there. So now what we'll do is we'll put the vacuum advance back together. See, now you can see how this works. When it rides that lobe, every time this separates, it tells the coil to fire. When it's together, it saturates the coil. When it splits, it tells the coil to fire. And that's how our ignition system works. Simplest system there was since the beginning of time, besides the magneto, but it works. And I gotta get a wrench to get this apart. This has to go on, and the other wire is around here somewhere. It has to go on. They're notorious for corroding and snapping off, so we do the next best thing. She's back. Tomorrow we're gonna take her for a test drive and see what happens. Tomorrow, take it for a test drive until see if it does what it did. You know, we still gotta catch up. All the videos building its engine, all of that, we're gonna do all that. It's just that with race season starting, I haven't got time to get the filming, rest of it done. Riddell's doing the best she can editing, but we're behind. So we're gonna be like going backwards kind of after this. Stay tuned. Algar's Garage. Like, subscribe, and share. See you tomorrow.